Next. Last but not least, having a good skin can make you appear more attractive and confident. Attractiveness have positive consequences for many life outcomes, such as social interaction, employment, income-related outcomes. Okay, attractiveness also increase the chance of making success, and it's so in romantic partners. Okay, uh, there is one study about skin tone and attractiveness. In social dysmorphism hypothesis suggests that women with light skin tone are more attractive than dark skin tone, uh, and vice versa for men. However, there are many inconsistent and contrary evidence implies that relation between skin tone and attractiveness. Okay, that's okay. That's all from me. Thank you. This my process.
Yes. Thank you, Brother Fatul. Yes, that was short and sweet. Yes. Okay. Any questions from the group first?
Assalamualaikum, Doktor.
Assalam.
Dr. I'm Farah. I have a question for Fatul.
Yes.
So, for the first function of the skin is to prevent loss of essential body fluid. However, for the next slide, you said that the barrier capacity is reduced if the corneum is hydrated. What do you mean by that? And can you give me like one example of the condition where the corneum is hydrated?
Oh, you know where you want condition. There is one condition that when you swim for a long time, what will happen to your skin? It will be demarcated. So this demarcation of the skin will make the effect the barrier, stratum corneum, lost its integrity. Another condition is like when you wear a glove, you sweat right in your glove. Your hand will sweat in the glove. So excessive sweat will make your hand demarcated. The study said that your skin at that state will reduce its structural integrity will reduce. Am I answering your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, what happens is if the skin is hydrated, right? For example, Brother Fatul gave a couple of examples, isn't it? In a state of hydration, the skin tends to absorb more than it normally would. Okay? But we can make use of that also. We can make use of that also for therapeutic purpose. For example, excuse me. For example, if we want to increase the absorption of topical medication, right? One of the ways of doing that is to increase the hydration of the skin. Right? We want more of the cream which is applied to enter into the skin to be absorbed, isn't it? So using this this principle that more will be absorbed if the stratum corneum is hydrated, we can, for example, use ointments instead of creams, because ointments tend to cause more occlusion, right? Which in turn prevents water loss from the skin, and therefore there's more water within the stratum corneum. It's more hydrated, therefore the medication, the steroid, will be absorbed better. Okay, so that would be one example. Or in some cases, what they do, they apply the, for example, for very thick skin lesions, they apply the medication and then put a plastic film over it. Okay, so they cover the site of application with a plastic film. Once again, that creates occlusion. Occlusion means it's preventing the evaporation of water out of the stratum corneum, isn't it? Right? So in other words, it's increasing the hydration of the stratum corneum. Therefore, the applied medication will be absorbed better. Okay, it'll be able to get through the barrier easier. Yeah? So we can also make use of it for treatment purposes. Okay. Any other questions?
Assalamualaikum, Doctor. I'm
Salam.
sorry. Can you explain one more time regarding the hair follicle? I don't get it.
You wanted to discuss the hair follicle, is it, sister?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll come back to that. Maybe we'll finish this subtopic first, and then we'll go back to the hair follicle.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question related to the functions of the skin? So I think what Brother Fatul has presented is, basically the skin acts as a mechanical barrier, isn't it? It doesn't let things out from inside, and it doesn't let things in from outside. Okay, it acts as a mechanical barrier, but it's so much more than that. Okay, because it also acts as an immunological barrier, isn't it? What are the cells that give the immune function to the skin? Fatul?
Langerhans cell and keratinocyte.
Yeah, but not only that, there are also lymphoid cells, isn't it? There are also lymphocytes present within the dermis. I think that was covered by the second presenter. Is that right, sister? Did you mention something about lymphocytes?
Yes, I mentioned it.
Yes. Okay, so the lymphocytes also within the dermis, isn't it? So basically, they sometimes refer to this as skin-associated lymphoid tissue. It has immune defense. It's an immune defense mechanism. Yeah, just like you have lymphoid cells in the bronchial mucosa and in the GI mucosa, isn't it? So also in the skin. Yeah? So all the main interfaces of our body with the outside environment tend to have lymphoid cells to act as an immune defense. Yeah. So it's a mechanical barrier, but it's also a immune defense. Yes. Then he spoke about the synthesis of vitamin D, isn't it? Right. And then I think he spoke about temperature regulation. Is that right, Brother Fatul?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, he talked about temperature regulation, and he talked about protection from ultraviolet light, isn't it? Which sort of correlates with the incidence of skin cancer among different populations depending on their skin type, right? And after that, what was next? What was number 6? Yeah, he spoke about this as well, right? And then finally, the last point, the psychosocial part, right? Okay, so I don't want to sort of go into a discussion of social interaction and things like that so much, right? But I want to look at it from the other side, right? Basically, what happens when you have skin disease? Okay, so as he already mentioned, the skin has got significant psychosocial significance, significant psychosocial relevance in health, isn't it? But what about in disease? What happens then? Well, they have found that patients with skin disease actually have a significant sort of psychosocial impact because of the disease, right? For example, children with eczema. Okay, children with atopic eczema, it's a chronic skin disease and it's very visible. It's on the face, it's on the hands, isn't it? Right? So when these kids go to school, what happens? Other kids tend to sort of isolate them. Okay, they sort of because it's very visible, it's sort of very obvious, right? And it immediately marks that child out as different in some way from the rest of the kids, isn't it?